Okay. Welcome, team owners, to the Week 3 update of the league version 2010. This is your Commissioner Steve Lorenzi speaking. I'd like to start with matchup number 1, Sam Horton and the Greatest Show on Paper versus Shanika Perry and the Samurai Pizza Cats. This game ended in a win for Sam Horton at a score of 127 to 122. This was by a point margin of 5 points, which earned Sam not only the Owner of the Week award for scoring the most points by a team this week, but also the Close Call of the Week award by winning by the slightest margin. Sam's team was led by none other than Michael Vick, his waiver acquisition from a couple of weeks ago when Kevin Cobb suffered a concussion, and he scored 33 points. This was a waiver wire acquisition that is proving to be one of the best waiver wire acquisitions so far this season, although yet it is early in the season, but so far so good. This moves Sam to a record of 2-1 and tied for first place in the Smash Mouth division with the Samurai Pizza Cat. Shanika's leading scorer this week was Chris Johnson, running back for the Tennessee Titans. It should be said that Shanika scored the second highest point total of the week for the league this week, and had she faced any other competition, she would have won. But again, the Greatest Show on Paper has handed the Pizza Cat her first loss of the season. Congratulations, Sam, on the awards, and congratulations on a very good win. Moving on to the second matchup of the week, and the Queens Gravediggers beat the two-time defending champion African Savage Sphinx by a score of 113 to 91. This was our defending champion's first loss of the season, and it pitted two undefeateds. So Will remains undefeated, and he is the only undefeated team left in the league so far. Congratulations, Will. It was a very good win. His team was led by Peyton Manning by a score of 24 points, and he was able to pull this off with a goose egg from Robert Meacham. Congratulations. On the other side of the coin, Blackshaw's team was led by Joe Flacco at a score of 22 points. Congratulations, Will. We're all gunning for you. We're all hoping to be the first ones to hand you that first loss of the season. So third matchup of the week was the other commish, Mark Scullin and his Mount Vernon Chunky Bulldogs versus George Blackshaw and the Flightless Bird, aka Boeing 747. The Mount Vernon Chunky Bulldogs made quick work of the Boeing 747, score of 109 to 66, point margin of 43, and surprisingly, this wide point margin did not garner Mark the Blowout of the Week award. More on that later. Mark Scullin's leading scorer this week was Anquan Bolden, wide receiver with the Baltimore Ravens. He scored 32 points. It should be said that the Giants' defense, as poorly as they did this week, scored Mark -1, earning them a quick drop as the waiver wire report just came in this morning. Javid Best scored 3 points. Huge discrepancy from his week 2 output of 41 points when we all know Mark left him on the bench. But I believe he was injured early in the game, and that's probably the reason why he scored so low. But it didn't affect Mark's score as he went on to win this easily. First win of the season. Congratulations. Moves him to a tie for fourth place in the run and gun division. And George, still flightless, still winless, 0-3, last place in his division, last place overall in the league. But not for a lack of trying. He's been very active on the waiver wire and the free agent board. He's made a few trade proposals and received a few trade proposals. So eventually his squad's going to start kicking it into gear, just like some of the other squads are as well. His leading scorer this week was Cedric Benson, scored 18 points, followed by Sam Bradford with 11. Everyone else on his roster scored single digits. Congratulations, Mark. Very good win. Congratulations on the first one of the season. I'm sure it'll lead to a few more. Moving on. Next matchup was Charlie Blackshaw and his team Chucksters versus Ken Breel and his New Rock Mafia Busters. This matchup saw Charlie beat Kenny at a score of 77 to 67, margin of 10. Charlie's leading scorer this week was his keeper Aaron Rodgers with 23 points, no goose eggs. Followed by Michael Turner with 19 and Johnny Knox with 10. This earns Charlie his second win in a row. He's currently tied for second in the run and gun division, and he's picking up steam. On the other side of the coin, after a first week win, Ken has now suffered 2 losses in a row. This moves him to a record of 1-2, currently tied for fourth in the run and gun division. His leading scorer this week was Drew Brees with 24, followed by Steven Jackson with 11. Ricky Williams had 0 points. His Broncos defense had -1 points. It should be noted that Beanie Wells had 7 points and almost didn't make it into the roster. Beanie Wells was benched at the beginning of the week by Kenny, and in his stead, Jerome Harrison made an appearance. At the witching hour, it had come to Mr. Breel's attention that Jerome Harrison would be out, and he immediately benched Harrison and put Beanie Wells back in, but it made no difference. Charlie made quick work of Ken Breel in what was a very close game, 77-67. Congratulations, Charlie, on a good win. Congratulations on 2 in a row. Our next matchup faced Josh Rosario and the Alvario Latin Ballers versus yours truly, the Commission, his Monkey Knife Fighters. Josh's team scored an amazing 109 points. I say amazing because Josh perennially doesn't get this sort of production from his team, especially because he usually isn't the guy that makes it to the draft. But this year he made it to the draft, and it's starting to show. Adrian Peterson scored 34 points. Tom Brady had 22 points. Santana Moss had 16. Marion Barber had 11. Vishanti Shanko had a goose egg, but it didn't matter. The leading scorer for myself, was Jay Cutler, only 13 points. There's no way with that kind of production by the leader on my team was I going to be able to beat Josh this week. As a matter of fact, with the score that I had, I wouldn't have been able to beat anybody. I would have been able to tie for the GOAT of the Week award. So that earns me the GOAT of the Week award. It's not mine all by my own. I share it with someone else. More on that in a minute. But congratulations, Josh, on a very good win. That's 2 in a row. That moves you up to 2-1. You're tied for first in the Smash Mouth division. That leaves me at 1-2 with a 2-game losing streak, tied for fourth in the Smash Mouth division. This is not a precursor of things to come. I will be back. Moving on, we got Cliff Fulmore and his Bubble Burner versus Phil Craniker and his TC Exiled Sentry. This game ended up in Cliff's favor at a score of 62-57. 57 points by Phil, ties the league low, held by me, 57 points as well. So we both are given the GOAT of the Week award. Congratulations to us both on such a dubious title. Phil's team was led by Tony Gonzalez with 17 points, followed by 12 points in Eli Manning. No goose eggs on Phil's side, but it didn't make a difference. Every other player on his team scored single digits. Wasn't enough to beat Cliff this week, even if it was only a point margin of 5. This also earns Cliff a tie for the Close Call of the Week award with Sam. Congratulations. Cliff was led by Tony Romo in 20 points, followed by Thomas Jones in 15 points. Cliff managed to win this matchup, even though a goose egg was had by Fred Jackson, one of his running backs. Congratulations, Cliff, on a very good win. I think that about does it. Wrapping up, we have the Owner of the Week. Congratulations, Sam, 2nd week in a row. Blowout of the Week, Josh. Congratulations. Close Call of the Week, shared by Sam Horton and Cliff Fulmore. Congratulations. And GOAT of the Week, shared by Phil for the 2nd week in a row, and myself. Dubious honors, but what can I say? At least I didn't win it back-to-back weeks. That leaves Will Cawthron, our sole undefeated team in the league, at 3-0. We're all gunning for him. And George and his Flightless Bird, the only team left to earn a win this week, 0-3. Moving forward for week 4, it's the first week of the NFL buys. Make sure you check your schedule. Make sure you don't start anybody or keep anybody on your active roster who's on a bye week. Check those injury reports. I think we had 14 waiver acquisitions this week, so it's showing that we're having a lot of activity. Teams are getting active. Teams are starting to try and get that fire going and get that momentum building. Now is not the time to dig a big hole. Now is the time to start getting some momentum going and get a fire lit under that ass. So congratulations to all the winners, and for all of us losers, we know what we have to do. See you next week. Good luck, and go Big Blue. Let's turn it around this week.